Hey guys, Pastor Chris here. Welcome to the poolside chat. Day late. Um, Last few sessions we had been talking about women, young women leaving the church, and this weekend, question came up. It's not just women; it's everybody, isn't it, Pastor Chris? Yes, it is. We've talked about teenagers. We've talked about men. Everybody. And that was a big shock within the church community, pastoral community, that it was young women, because that is new. But everybody is. And I've been thinking about this, and I thought back to something I heard years ago. Why do teenagers, they graduate high school, and it seemed they graduated church? Surveys were done, questions were asked, why aren't you going to church now? Didn't you like youth group? And the answer was, yeah, it's really cool. It was great. Fantastic way to spend a Wednesday or Saturday or Sunday, Friday, whatever. It was wonderful. Great music, good food, friends were there, it was really good. And that was the answer. Thanks for the memories. And I think in many ways, I would leave too, because I think many ways we have done people a disservice. See, we have reduced God to rules and regulations women can't serve. We have reduced God to I was going to say events, but to experiences, good, clean fun. Hey, you can have fun without drugs or alcohol, or, great times. Come on over. We got pizza. And we kind of make God into just a bunch of experiences sometimes. So yes, people are leaving the church because you can find these experiences in a softball game. You can find these experiences at a picnic. But what makes church different is God. It's God who started this. It's God. And I think we forget that people come to church to learn about God. I want to say the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's not what I mean. But the good and the good and the hard. Maybe is the best way to put it. Why does God act the way He does? Why does God do the same things He does? Why does our life not work out the way we think it should with God? I mean, it's always the joke. We say become a Christian, and God said, in this life you'll have troubles, but if you become a Christian, you have more troubles. It's like, so become a Christian, get more stuff. But stuff happens to the good and the bad, to the righteous and the unrighteous. But what is it we get? And maybe this is part of the problem. We sell it as what we get. That church and life with God is for us. But it's for God. And out of God's abundance, He makes life full for us. John chapter 17 is what I kept coming back to. This is when Jesus prays, right before He's crucified. And in the Garden of Gethsemane, it says Jesus prays for His disciples, the people following Him, to keep them strong, to keep them safe, to keep them close to Him so they don't leave Him. But then, later on, it says, what is this? I can't even see. Verse 20. Verse 20. My prayer, Jesus praying, is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. In the midst of getting ready to go die, He prayed for me, us, so that we may be one with Jesus and God as they are one. See, it's about God but because about God, it's for us. And maybe that's the message that we need to give. Whatever that church belief is for young women, study it, struggle with it, ask questions about it, find your place, but remember, it's not about you, it's about God. Teenagers who leave, there are great times, good experiences, but it starts because it starts with God. And we have to preach God, not just good, but the hard too. And I think that's a challenge for church leaders, for pastors, for ministry leaders. People come to church for God, not for good experiences. The good experiences will come when we follow God, but they come for God. You know, I'm reminded of the story of Peter. Let me finish with this. Where Jesus gives the discourse, they call it the talk on the bread of life. I am the bread of life. I am was a name of God, Yahweh. So when Jesus said, I am the bread of life, people are like, he's calling himself God. And then after they got over that shock, because they believed he was God, because they felt good. Until he said, you got to eat my flesh, and you got to drink my blood, or you're going to have no part of me. And it's like, this is a hard saying, who can abide it? And interpret another way, it's like, you're crazy. I ain't eating nothing to you, I ain't drinking nothing from you, get away from me. And they left. And he turned to Peter, and he said, will you leave also? Because Jesus preached the hard stuff. And Peter said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Where will we go? Because they didn't understand a doggone thing, but because they were taught God, they knew that it was all about God, and it was everything with God. So I hope this answers it. Thanks for the question. You're right. And I guess it kind of went into, you're right, and we, pastors, leaders, teachers, need to do a better job than what we're doing if we want to attract and keep people in church. All right, guys, keep them coming. I'm Pastor Chris Ireland, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble at FL Compass Church, and on Instagram, my little T's at FL Compass Church. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend. See you Saturday.